Welcome everyone to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up, guys?
Yeah, so I thought it was a joke. It wasn't a joke, so go ahead, Chris.
So for those Tokusatsu fans out there who haven't heard about this yet,
yeah,
Ultraman's getting a movie, but it's not just any Ultraman. It's Shin Ultraman.
great.
Like Shin Gojira?
Yeah.
But wait, it gets better. It's being made by the exact same people.
Oh, great.
Yes.
So that was the contract. All right, we won't do it on the Godzilla, but we're gonna get something else. Probably.
I guess so.
Oh God. So they're gonna ruin this too.
So, okay, for those of you who don't know, because I know that there's going to be a lot of people who, if they've just found the channel or this is the first time they watched it, yes, Matrix Lord and I are extremely big Godzilla fans.
Yes.
Godzilla is like our favorite, well, my favorite fictional character. I know SpiderMan's your favorite fictional character.
Right.
For me, Godzilla is my favorite fictional character, and I know you hold Godzilla in high regard as well.
I have it. I don't have it as like fictional, meaning just one character. So it's I have it in categories like, favorite monster Godzilla, favorite soup. Right. It wasn't like there's nobody above anybody else. Forget it. Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, when I go to sleep at night, I turn my head. Godzilla's right there.
There you go.
I have all the guys lined up, even the ones you sent me, all lined up on my dresser with my SpiderMan, with my Jason Voorhees, like Avengers, all of them together, staring at me every day. With Doctor Who. So, yes, get it.
That's what you need. That's all you really need.
That's all you need, really.
What was I going to say? Okay, so we are very big Godzilla fans. We were not fans of Shin Gojira.
Hell no.
I did not particularly appreciate this incarnation of Godzilla. It's not the worst, but it was just... For me, anyway, the story was just not great. The characters were not that great. And the design for me, left a little bit to be desired.
To me, it was the worst Godzilla movie ever made, in my opinion. And every single chance I had to rip it apart, I did. And especially when I saw it was terrible. And I said it a million times. And I might have been sarcastic with the kids, meaning it was horrible. I wanted them to see how bad it was. This is the thing. My kids seen all the Godzilla movies, right? So nowadays, if something was really bad, they wouldn't see it, But I wanted them to see how bad this movie was and how horrendous Godzilla's forms took. And I said, you just have to see this. And you remember, I wasn't going to buy it, but I bought it.
Now, to just throw this out there, because I know that there's going to be a lot of people who, because yes, we didn't like Shin Gojira, but a majority of people did.
Right.
We are in the minority. We understand.
We understand that.
And we're not going to say that the movie does not have a place in Godzilla history, because obviously it does. It's the most successful Godzilla film that I know of in Japan, at least in the modern era. It made a huge amount of money. It is a big reason why Godzilla is as popular as he is right now. We totally understand that. It was just not, we just did not enjoy it. If you enjoyed it, though, that's fine. We have nothing against you. It's great. Right.
We're all Godzilla fans, man.
Right.
I mean,
so we are just being skeptical, because when you come to us now and say that you're doing something, it could be Shin anything. It could be Shin Ultraman, Shin Gamma, whatever you want to say. We are going to be skeptical because we did not like Shin Gojira.
Right. And well, let me add one thing before you go on.
Yeah.
Shin means new, right? That's what that.
It means multiple different things.
Like new.
Well, new is one of the things that it means. From what I understand, it could also mean like God or something like that.
Ultimate God or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Now keep in mind, I know it means new. I knew whatever, right? But because this movie was so bad for me and I hated it, I signify Shin with shit. So when you say Shin Godzilla, I say shit Godzilla. So now anything that has the Shin next to it, I think it's shit. So immediately, all he had to tell me today was Shin Ultraman. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Like, really? Like, because I can't fathom them screwing up Ultraman, right? So, yeah, Chris, I'm sorry.
What I was going to say is, when you come to us and say we're doing a Shin whatever movie, we're obviously going to be skeptical because we did not like Shin Gojira. And if they were willing to take all of those liberties with the Godzilla character, because let's face it, that was a radical departure from what Godzilla normally is portrayed as. Not like character, what he represents. That was basically like they continued that fine. But the way he was presented in the movie was like, what the hell? Like it was.
Let's be frank with the audience. Had they been allowed to do everything 100%, Godzilla's final form would have had breasts. Yeah, Godzilla would have become a female with breasts.
There was concept art of him having like a human form.
They wanted Godzilla to become a female with breasts.
But thankfully that didn't happen. So
that's a small, big. All right, it's already you did the worst of worst, but okay. Thank God that didn't happen. Yes, thank you.
On topic though, because that's Shin Gojira.
Correct. Thank you for not doing that.
Yeah. So my thing automatically is this: like, what are they gonna do to Ultraman? Because Ultraman's had many different incarnations throughout the years. Oh. Many of them are obviously similar. There's not like as far as I know, there's not like a radical departure of Ultraman. I'm not sure what that current series is doing now. I haven't watched it.
Now I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest with you. I know of Ultraman's existence, right? But I never really watched anything with Ultraman. Like, I liked, Jet Jaguar, which was supposed to be like off Ultraman, right? But I never really seen too many things with Ultraman. Right. Although I know who he is, but you know what I'm saying. Again.
I'm just, part of me is interested to see what they do.
I'm not interested.
But another part of me is like, and then what really worries me is that let's say they do let's say they do this movie, they do Shin Ultraman, and it's another radical departure from what Ultraman normally is, but it does well. What do they get to do next?
I'll tell you. King Ghidorah, basically.
Oh, they already did a Shin Ghidorah.
Really?
Yes, he's part of the Universal 4D ride that's over there.
Oh, God.
Shin Gojira. Actually, I'm going to be honest with you. That wasn't bad. That 4D ride that I
didn't even see it. I don't know.
I saw what it was like on YouTube.
Right.
That was actually.
I'm talking. When I say shit, I mean movie though.
No, I know what you're saying.
Dollar ride, yeah.
But this was presented almost like a short movie. So
I don't want to see Shin Mothra, Shin Rodan.
No, dude, I'm telling you, Shin Ghidorah was actually very well done. They did it very.
It's called Shin Ghidorah.
Well, no, but it's supposed to be like it.
But it's not a Shin, damn it.
So, but I'll tell you what though, it's one of the better Ghidorah designs. I'll be honest with you. It was very cool. But again, that's the 4D ride, so So yeah, all we know is it's being made by the same directors. It's supposed to come out, I believe, in 2021.
So wait, is this part of the Worlds of Godzilla?
No, I don't believe it is.
Oh, good.
Separate.
Oh, good.
Now, I don't believe that this is going to be in the same universe as Shin Gojira. That would be quite strange if they did that.
If we had a new Godzilla that looks like actual Godzilla kick Shin Godzilla's ass, and they say that Shin Godzilla was actually an experiment, like genetically, to see if they could replicate Godzilla, then I'd be like, oh, that's good. Because that's not really Godzilla. That sucks.
Unfortunately, though, that's not going to happen. I don't know if you know this, and this is probably going to disappoint you if you don't know this. Shin Gojira has replaced the Heisei Godzilla as the poster image for Godzilla in Japan.
What?
So much so that they removed the Heisei Godzilla statue that was out front of the Toho offices and replaced it with a statue of Shin Gojira, and they moved the Heisei Godzilla statue into the building. Also, the 65-year anniversary of Godzilla, including the 65-year anniversary logo on everything, including stuff from the MonsterVerse, has Shin Gojira on it. He is the poster for the Universal 4D ride. He is the most popular merchandise seller over there for Godzilla, as far as I know. So much so that they've made several different versions of the base figure that all sell like hotcakes. And not to mention, he is in multiple media versions. That is their go-to design for Godzilla now.
Oh, no.
Gojira has basically become like the Pikachu for the Pokemon franchise.
Oh, Jesus.
So this is going to be the Godzilla that's on there for years, unless the world of Godzilla takes off.
Please.
Somehow. Which, at this point, that could be worse because Godzilla incarnation from Toho was a plant. So, I mean, yeah, Shin Gojira is here to stay. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. Which, if you like that, I mean, hey, you're probably in your glory, but, I'm not. But, hey, we got the MonsterVerse Godzilla, so I'm okay with that.
Which, I want to talk about that for a minute. Can we? Godzilla King of the Monsters has $385 million in, right? Now, I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, $56 million less overseas. And I guess like what, $100 million less domestically. Yeah. I guess it's still generating money overseas for some weird reason.
Barely, I would say. But
barely, but it is bringing in more money than domestically. And you got to think about it. It cost $170 to make, and it made basically $385. That's like $200 million profitability. I mean, it's not that it sucks. I mean,
not necessarily, because you have to include the marketing in that, and you also have to remember that they don't get all of the foreign take.
I know, but still, it didn't lose money. It
as far as we know.
But I mean, how could it? You're saying that besides passing the 170, which was the budget, you're saying that they spent. There's no way that they spent 385 to market and product budget altogether. Like that.
I can tell you from recent interviews from legendary officials and stuff that this shook them pretty badly.
It shook them because they released it at a freaking god awful time.
They said that it underperformed so badly.
Yes,
that they're worried, and it didn't meet the projections at all.
Because if it would have came out at a different time, like it was supposed to, then it would have done way better.
Possibly. I think honestly, the conclusion that I've come to with this is that they overestimated the interest in the domestic market.
Well, we totally miscalculated, you and I.
Oh, absolutely. But what and I don't blame them for this, because there was evidence to support the idea that this was going to do well. Take away the idea of all the stuff that came out that looked great, and everything that came out got a great response. What happened was they looked at Godzilla from 2014, and they saw that its opening weekend made $93 million. It blew the house away. It was like, what the hell? This movie did fantastic, and it wound up doing fantastic overall. Then Kong Skull Island came out. That did substantially less than 2014 when it first came out, but it wound up being a more profitable movie altogether.
Staying power.
They looked at those two, and they were like, okay, if we answer the criticisms that people had from Godzilla, which they did, then more people will go see the movie. The problem was, it was 5 years later. There's still the people out there that think Godzilla wasn't in 2014 enough. They didn't watch the trailers. They didn't care. However, the foreign market was like, bring that over here.
Yeah.
So.
See, I loved it, though.
So did I. It did not underperform because it was a bad movie.
I loved it.
It didn't. That's not why. Everybody I've talked to and every reaction that I've seen. I know that this is my own personal experience and it's not an overall.
Right.
It doesn't tell the overall. But most people that I've talked to have either said I loved it or it had some problems, but I still liked it.
Listen, I thought it was excellent, but like the one issue that I kind of brushed aside as like just not really paid attention of, right? You could tell me if you felt the same way or not. But I understand that Vera Farmiga's character, right, lost her kid due to Muto and Godzilla fighting, right? Different things, right? For the life of me, and then that caused a rupture with her marriage and a strange relationship with her husband and her having custody of her daughter or whatever it was, right? For the life of me, how you would get that she would want to have the monsters like destroy people and just like take over the world from losing your kid is beyond me. Like, I don't understand it in any way. Like, I felt that didn't make any sense to me.
It made total sense to me.
I mean, why does she want people to die? Because she lost the kid, so she wants everybody miserable?
So she doesn't blame Godzilla or the Mutos.
Right. No, I know, but she worshipped the monsters. Whatever.
Okay. No, she doesn't worship them, right?
Okay.
What she was trying to do was this. She said, I lost my son because the people that were studying these things, myself included, woke these Mutos up.
I see. So in other words, the Monarch and all these people, they didn't stop messing around.
Right, because if
so she wants the revenge against the organizations.
Well, not necessarily like that. Let me go through it and then comment after that.
Okay.
So you have to remember how the Mutos were discovered. It wasn't Monarch that discovered them. It was that mining operation in the Philippines that stumbled upon the carcass of Dagon.
Right.
Which is what that creature is confirmed to be, another member of Godzilla's species called Dagon.
Okay.
It's in the Godzilla Aftershock comic,
right.
which is very good. You see what happens to him. You see kind of how the Mutos reproduce and stuff. So
right.
That mining operation found it. Monarch got wind of it, and they were like, that's a Muto. At the time, they didn't call them Titans. They're like, that's a Muto skeleton. We have to cover this up. Because at the time, they were still making sure nobody got wind of this stuff. So when they went there, the male Muto larva already hatched. And they said it hatched because it catalyzed with the air after the mining company drilled through and did whatever they did.
Right.
So, of course, because of that, we get the events of 2014. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the movie, Mark Russell, who's the main character, Vera Farmiga's character, Emma, and their family were in San Francisco at the time Godzilla fought the two Mutos.
Right.
The fight killed their son, Andrew.
Right.
Emma, Vera Farmiga's character, is not trying to get revenge on Monarch. What she's trying to show is that we're causing all of these problems. Humanity is causing all of these problems. That's causing these Titans to wake up. What they explain in the movie is that when the Titans wake up and they traverse the Earth, the surface of the Earth anyway, their radiation causes a specific reaction that starts to repair damaged parts of the environment.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you see that in the newspaper clippings at the end of the movie. It says wherever Godzilla seems to be going in the ocean, the coral reefs are starting to come back.
Right.
Fish populations are starting to return.
So she feels that their presence will fix the Earth.
So what she was trying to do was wake up all the Titans gradually, so that when they woke up, they would their presence would do two things. It would repair the parts of the environment that humanity has damaged, one, and two, it would basically wipe out our civilization to the point where there would be a limited number of humans on the Earth, where it would be back in a sustainable way for the Earth to be able to recover in tandem with the Titans doing their thing with their radiation.
Right.
So, and her goal of this was to try to make a better world for her daughter, because you notice her daughter was always with her,
right,
because she had the Orga, So if a Titan never got near them, she activates the Orca, and the Titan's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go away.
Right.
You know, so, and then she told Monarch, she said, Monarch has been planning for the fall of civilization because of the Titans for years. There are bunkers around the world meant to protect and restart civilization. And she tells them, I suggest you get there as soon as possible.
Right.
So now I will agree with you. It could have been explained a lot better.
Right.
She could have made it a bit clearer.
Right.
But going in, I watched the trailer a lot, and I was like, I get where she's going. So if you didn't watch the trailer multiple times, I can see why you're being confused. And I think that's what got a lot of the critics confused, who said the plot was convoluted, but it's really not. Like, you just, if you put a little bit of thought into it, it's like, okay, she's clearly insane.
Yes.
Like, this is clearly, like, what are you thinking, Vera?
Totally insane. Yeah.
But I can kind of, I see where she's coming from. Right. It's just not, and that's one of the reasons why I really like this movie, is because usually the environmentalist would have been the protagonist. But what the movie is trying to say is, listen, you could be all for the environment, but if you go in some sort of radical path or down some radical path that you think is going to fix it, you can fuck it up even worse.
Right.
Which is what happened when they let Ghidorah out there. Like, oh, he's just another Titan that's going to help everybody. Lo and behold, he's like, ha, I'm hijacking your whole plan.
And the fact is that he's a foreign element because really, I guess on his world, he's the king of everything. Right. And he came here and he doesn't belong here.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love that element too, because
remember how we were talking, you said you didn't think he was going to be an alien?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Right. And I'm like, oh, he has to be. He's Monster Zero. Remember? I was like, oh, yeah.
Well, I love that element too, because obviously invasive species are an actual thing that we deal with. I live in Florida, and we always get some kind of alert on the news that there's some sort of invasive species issue, because people get exotic pets, they get too big, and then they let them out. And then these animals wind up meeting, they start reproducing, and they start eating all the other animals that are
like alligators and stuff, or crocodiles, or they just throw them out.
Alligators are native to Florida, but like one that I know is a huge issue. People get boa constrictors and pythons as pets, right?
Right.
They get them when they're small. They grow too big, and then people just let them out. And it's like,
why would you let them out?
Because they don't know what to do with them.
So why don't you donate it to like a? We're losing track. But yeah.
But I mean, that's the. You're making a logical argument. Like, why wouldn't you just do? But people don't do that. So when in this movie, I think it was Mark Russell's character. He says, "So he's an invasive species."
Right.
I was like, that's really cool.
But that's also that could open up the doors to say that there's a whole bunch of monsters on like other planets, that if they were ever going to do a thing, it wouldn't just be King Ghidorah. It could be like Gigan. It could be like a whole bunch of, even if you involve the aliens or whatever, you could have a whole bunch of monsters from like another planet.
Yeah. I always had this idea, and I relate it to this Ghidorah too, because in the Showa series, Ghidorah didn't really come from one planet. He just kind of like wandered around space, and wherever he found life, he just kind of destroyed it.
Yeah.
What was really interesting to me was that in the novel for Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is based off the movie, they go a little bit more into Ghidorah's, like, into his motivation for what he's doing, where they literally say, like, his presence alone causes the planet to basically reshape itself. Like, he doesn't really have to do anything. It's just his presence just causes issues with the planet. And what they basically said was, any of the Titans that submitted to him as the Alpha, he would let them do what they did for a little while, and then he was just going to kill them all.
Right.
So that just kind of shows you, like, the level of malevolence that this Ghidorah was was operating on, which I loved it. I think they did. This is probably my favorite incarnation of Ghidorah, like just because of how just evil, pure evil that this creature was. And it didn't even really care that it was doing these things. It was just kind of like, yeah, I'm just doing what I do because that's who I am.
Now, Megalon was an alien?
Megalon was supposed to be an alien.
Supposed to be originally.
He's not in the movie. In the movie, he's actually, ironically, he's pretty close to what the Titans are in the MonsterVerse. He was from like the Hollow Earth. There were people in the Earth, and he was like the deity.
So the only aliens are Gigan and King Ghidorah.
In the Showa series, the aliens were King Ghidorah, or Ghidorah at the time. The Smog Monster, Hedorah.
Yes, I remember when it was called Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Why
the
did
Smog
they change
Monster
it?
is an alien.
Why did they change it? That's a good question.
Ghidorah, I don't know. That is a good question. But
because you know what I remember? I'm like, why? Because I was always like confused. Do I call it this? Do I call it this? Right.
Yeah. So I think if I remember correctly, and I'm looking at the movies right now, there are 4 aliens in the Showa series. It's Ghidorah, Hedorah, Gigan.
Oh wait, Hedorah, which is a smog monster.
He's an alien. Yep.
He's an alien.
Yep.
Okay, so say it again.
So Ghidorah, Hedorah, Gigan, and technically Mechagodzilla.
Mechagodzilla?
Yes.
Oh, because he was developed by the aliens.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
In that incarnation, he was built by aliens.
Right.
Twice he was built by aliens.
Right. And Titanosaurus was just...
Titanosaurus was just a dinosaur. Like a dinosaur-like Titan.
And King Caesar was from the Earth also, right?
King Caesar was, he was, I think he was the guardian of Okinawa, I want to say.
Right, something like that. Honolulu or whatever the hell it was, right. And then in Final Wars, Monster X is an alien. And
Gigan
is... And Orga.
Orga is a millennium.
Orga is an alien.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because there is a manga version of Godzilla 2000 or Godzilla 1999 Millennium, whatever you want to go off of.
Right.
It actually shows what Orga was before he was Orga, right?
Yeah.
It is messed up.
Let me tell you something. When that movie came out, right, I loved Orga.
Me too.
The problem I had was they didn't give him respect to name him. Like, they didn't really name him like Orga, right?
Oh, okay. So
like, they had to name him afterwards, right?
I'll explain to you why they did that. It's a very interesting story, and I think you're going to appreciate it a bit more.
Okay.
In the English version, Godzilla's healing factor is called Reorganizer G1. Or excuse me.
Yes.
It's called Regenerator G1.
Right.
In the English version.
Okay.
In the Japanese version, it's called Organizer G1.
I see.
So when the aliens sampled some of it from Godzilla, they called it Orga.
I see.
Organizer G1.
I see.
So in the American version, they didn't call it Organizer, so there was no basis for the name Orga.
Yeah.
So they just never named him.
Right.
So it's... I like Organizer G1 a bit better because I think it sounds more creative than Regenerator G1. That's a little on the nose.
Right, that's stupid, yeah.
But, yeah. Orga. I want to see Orga come back.
Me too. You know what I really liked? I mean, I'm not going to say when I was a kid because I obviously wasn't a kid because I've been around a while, but when they had, was it the Heisei series?
The 90s one, yeah.
When they had Space Godzilla, right? Yep. Destroyer. I freaking loved that.
Yeah.
I love Space Godzilla. I love Destroyer. When I showed my kid, Joe, Godzilla vs. Destroyer, he cried. Like, I was in tears too.
Oh,
Godzilla, but I freaking was bald. I mean, that was like, hit you right here, man. It was like, wow. That was like powerful.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Mechagodzilla in there too, like, right? He was new, right? Mechagodzilla, was he part of that too? No. No, it was wait, Violante. Let me see which was from that series. It was I know Space Godzilla, and I know the Destroyer was the last two, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And what was the other ones? The other ones were
So the Heisei,
Violante.
the Heisei order goes: The Return of Godzilla, 1984.
Okay, 1985, right?
Violante.
Violante.
Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
Yes.
Godzilla.
Was that the one with Mecha King Ghidorah?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Then Godzilla versus Mothra.
Right.
Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2.
Right.
Then Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
Right.
And then Godzilla versus Destroyer.
Right. Yes. And then the other series was Mechagodzilla, right? And then
Megaguirus.
Megaguirus, and then
was
all monsters attack and all that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll tell you a funny story about Godzilla versus Destroyer, because I saw that when I was like 6.
Wow.
When I was into Godzilla.
Well, how old are you now?
I'm 25.
Okay, Joe's 21 now. But he was he was young.
So my mom was reading. This is back when she used to get Reader's Digest.
Right.
How long ago this was? So in there, every now and then they would have like a section for like movies that you could buy VHS tapes. And she was reading it, and she was like, "Hell, have you ever seen this one called God?" She called it Destroyer.
Right.
Have you ever seen this one called Godzilla versus Destroyer? And I was like, "No, I've never seen that one." So she ordered it for me.
Right.
So I came home from school one day, and they had the VHS tape on our kitchen table.
But you've seen the other ones, though, right?
I'd seen most of the other ones. This is when I was still getting into it. You know,
Right.
So my favorite color is red orange. That is. I love anything red orange. Right.
Right.
So when I looked at the VHS tape, it had a picture of burning Godzilla on it.
Right.
And for those of you who haven't seen it, burning Godzilla is like the Heisei Godzilla, but he has these like burnt orange patches on his body because he's literally starting to burn up.
Right.
When I saw that, I was like, "What is this? Like, what's happening?"
Right.
I watched the whole movie, and I was like, "No freaking way! What's a burning Godzilla?" Right? Then when he died at the end, I was like, "What?" Like,
right.
No, I was like, "Godzilla can't die. You can't kill Godzilla. What the hell?"
Right.
And it took me years because I really didn't understand the ending, and then finally I watched.
Oh, so you didn't know that the kid got the radiation?
I thought that was just like a tribute to Godzilla. I didn't know that was part of the movie. So when when somebody finally was like, and then Junior absorbs Godzilla's radiation, I was like, "Oh shit, that's what happened."
And then the Godzilla and the Alien supposed to be Junior, right? In the other movies, right?
So, well,
Godzilla 2000 and all that stuff.
It's really not. It's supposed to be separate.
Well, I say it that way anyway.
Now, there is an alternate ending to Godzilla versus Destroyer.
Oh.
That's much better, in my opinion.
Really?
Yes, because for those of you who haven't seen Godzilla versus Destroyer, I'm going to spoil it for you here because the movie came out in 1995. So if you haven't seen it by now, you know.
Right.
In the normal ending, the military shoots Destroyer's wings, and he falls to his death.
Okay.
Right? In the alternate ending, throughout the whole movie, Godzilla is starting to melt down. This is in the regular version and in the alternate ending, right? What happens is he starts to melt down while he's fighting Destroyer, right? And he's fighting Destroyer while he's literally melting down, right? Destroyer realizes what's happening, and he tries to get away. But before he can get away, Godzilla grabs his horn and like one of the things on the sides of his face, and he holds him against his chest,
right?
And literally melts down while holding on to Destroyer and melts him with him.
Kills Destroyer.
It is one of the coolest scenes in any Godzilla movie I've ever seen.
Is it up?
They have the unedited version on YouTube, I believe. It doesn't have any.
You can't buy it?
No, it's not. It's not part of any of the releases, as far as I know.
I want to see it.
But it is so cool because he's literally just holding on to him, and he melts down, and then Destroyer melts down with him, and it was just like, oh man.
And the effects are done?
No, they're not. They didn't add any of them. So I think there's a part where you can see Godzilla uses his atomic breath, but it's literally just like a flash in the suit's mouth.
Oh, here it is.
So cool.
It's the top one?
I'm not sure. It might be.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I want to just take a look at this because that's crazy. I love those movies, man.
Yeah.
They were awesome stuff.
That's another reason why I like Godzilla King of the Monsters, because I know a lot of people said they felt like a Showa series, but I thought it felt more like a Heisei series film.
And why did they end the series?
Oh, they were going to take a break. They said that it was time for Godzilla to go on a break. You know, he did that every few years. They would kind of give the franchise a break.
But they never have the same guy do it again?
No.
They should have. That was
what wound up happening was before Godzilla vs. Destroyer, and I think even before Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, it might have even also been before Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, they had already made a deal in Hollywood to bring Godzilla over to America and do an American production.
Right.
And then they had the script. They had the design, a rough design for Godzilla and the Griffin. And then that turned into Godzilla 98.
Right.
And as a direct response of Godzilla 98, Toho said, we have to bring Godzilla out of retirement early because they fucked it up. And they made Godzilla.
Yeah. I'll watch this later. Wow.
So the Millennium series technically was not supposed to exist.
Right.
It was supposed to be retired until 2005, I believe, is when they were planning on redoing Godzilla.
Now, what was the idea behind Final Wars? Like, they had to show Godzilla defeat the American Godzilla?
So, Final Wars, they knew they wanted to do something for the anniversary. I believe It was the 50th anniversary.
Right.
And they were like, we're going to just throw every fucking thing that we have into it.
It was ridiculous. Right.
And they were like, we know it's going to be the last movie in the Millennium series.
Insane.
And they said Godzilla is going to be gone until 2013. That's what I remember reading an article where they said he's not coming back until around 2013, which they got pretty close to that. I'll give them credit for that one. And then Final Wars came out. It tanked at the box office. And they were like, oh, well, we're not doing another one for a little while, so whatever.
Yeah.
Then there was that period, that was the Dark Ages, where there was nothing. They did nothing. And then finally, out of nowhere, there was that clip at the beginning of that, I think it's the movie's called Always 2, I think. There's that clip where, there's a clip, one of the characters, it's totally not related to Godzilla, the movie, but I think Toho distributed it. There's a scene in the movie where I think the movie begins with one of the characters having a dream about a story he's writing. And it's a monster movie. It's literally Godzilla attacking the city. It's one of the most insane Godzillas I've ever seen.
What was this, though? This was a different thing?
This apparently was just a funny clip in the movie, but from what I've heard, this was Toho's way of saying he's on his way.
But they have that. Was that animation?
All you got to do is go on YouTube and type in "Always 2 Godzilla."
And it's an animation, or is it real?
No, it's real. It's fucking CGI. It's crazy, dude. You got to see this clip. I'm surprised you've never seen it before. It's nuts. It is one of the craziest things I've ever seen with Godzilla.
Always 2
Godzilla. Yep.
Holy crap. The top one?
Oh, I don't know. It might be.
What the hell?
It starts out with like some guy talking in Japanese on a radio. And then you see a bunch of people scrambling around their house. Yep.
I saw this before.
Yep.
I always thought this was a movie.
It is a movie. It's just not a Godzilla movie.
I was wondering what the hell this was.
Yep.
So this was a little part in there?
Yep. Because the next scene, the guy having the dream is explaining it to, I think it's like his little brother, and the little brother's like, "That's just Godzilla, dude." And he's like, "It's my."
That's right. He looks scary, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's right. I remember seeing that, and I was like, "Oh my god!" To us, we would think that's a new Godzilla movie.
Well, that was apparently the point of it. Was the primary thing of it was just a funny scene in the movie, but
Right.
from what I've heard, that was kind of their way of going, "We know you want him back. He's on his way back."
That was like that Gamma thing that they shared too. That wasn't real either, or no, it was real.
That was real. That just
they
let that go to be like, "Oh, this might be something that's happening," and then they were like, "Oh no, we're not doing it."
Right. Okay.
Which I don't understand why you would put that much effort into something and then be like, "We're not doing anything else with it," when that got a great response from what I've heard. Not to mention, it hit me right in the feels because it was freaking Gamera fighting the Gauss, and it made me think of the end of Gamera 3.
Now, we talked about this before, but the only Godzilla that was never released was the Godzilla versus the friggin'
the Wolfman.
Yeah.
So
what the hell? Why don't they just put it out, or are they embarrassed by it?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we're getting close to getting that released.
Really?
Because I saw I think it was at G-Fest this year, they had a table with figures that are going to be put out in, I think it was YMSF. This is a company that makes these really nice Godzilla figures.
Right.
And one of the main one they were showing off, they still had to get approval for it, but it was Behemoth from Godzilla King of the Monsters, the one that looks like the mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
They had a prototype of that figure, and they're like, "We're getting this approved by Legendary. If it gets approved, we're going to release it," right?
Okay.
Someone put a picture out there. Sitting right next to the Behemoth figure was the Wolfman.
So wait, let me ask you a question. If this came out,
yes,
would everything have to be renumbered?
No, I don't think so.
Like, in other words, this would be the 20-something Godzilla, and this would. So in other words, this would count as what?
So this would go right in between.
I lost you.
Godzilla or King Kong versus Godzilla and Mothra versus Godzilla. This would go right in between King Kong versus Godzilla and Mothra versus Godzilla.
So would it be after King Kong versus Godzilla?
Yes.
So this would be right after.
Yes.
And they wouldn't renumber it. Like, what number was that one? Do we know?
3.
No, the King Kong versus Godzilla. That was 3. So this would be the 4th Godzilla film.
Yes.
But would it be renumbered as that?
I don't. They don't really number the Godzilla films anyway. So.
All right, but still, it would be in that order then.
I'll tell you what. If they put it out, the main thing is that Godzilla fans everywhere would buy it.
Absolutely.
Because it's a show of film. Are you kidding
I don't
me?
even. Let me tell you something. Abso-friggin-lutely. Immediately.
And I would get it. I would get it if I could get my hands on it, because the Godzilla suit used in that movie is the same one that they used in King Kong versus Godzilla. It was the King Goji suit, which is my favorite Showa suit out of all of the ones in that era.
Right. No, but does somebody have it, though? This movie? Does somebody have it, this movie?
Toho apparently has, like, so many hours of footage from this movie.
But nobody has it, like, to watch in their house.
Because it doesn't exist. It's not an actual movie yet. It's just the footage, apparently.
So they never pieced it together and edited it as a movie?
They may have. I don't know. But they've never released it, as far as I know.
And that's the only one. There's no other Godzilla movie.
As far as we know, they had plans to do other Godzilla films that I don't think ever got this far. But you can find out the plans to other Godzilla films. Some of those Godzilla films...
No, that was the only thing that was filmed. We know.
That we know of.
So in other words, there could be Godzilla movies that were filmed we don't even know about.
Yeah, because like I said, there were rumors that they had plans for other things that they just never did.
But why wouldn't we have clips like we do with the Wolfman?
Because they probably didn't film them.
They didn't film them, or they filmed them and they didn't show it?
So they filmed the stuff for Godzilla versus the Wolfman.
Right.
What I'm saying is that they had plans for other Godzilla films that they probably just never filmed.
Okay, that's different then. I'm talking actually filmed.
As far as we know, it was just this Wolfman one.
And we're never going to see that Griffin thing.
Oh, no. unfortunately. But hey, that's why I keep saying put the Griffin in the MonsterVerse.
Let's go, man.
Why not? It doesn't have to
Absolutely.
be exactly the way it was in the script. In the script, it was an alien. If you don't want to do an alien, just say it was another Titan. I don't care. Get the thing in the friggin' movie.
This Godzilla movie is like a Doctor Who missing episode.
Yes.
Basically.
Wait, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the Wolfman, or are you talking about the...
Well,
that is...
Because it's actually complete. Well, it's there. It's just...
I'm telling you, you've got to find... I will send it to you. You have to read the script for that Godzilla movie with the Griffin.
God damn it. Why don't they just film it?
It is so interesting.
Why don't they just film it?
I know.
So what if it's out? Who cares? Like the script. Who cares?
The whole script. The whole thing is out. Like, I
don't care, though. I wouldn't even change it. Do it word for word exact. Let's go.
They could adapt that and put that could be Godzilla.
If I was a friggin' damn billionaire, man, and if I had power, I would friggin' have people make friggin' all my favorite shit. Godzilla, I mean, ridiculous.
If I was a director and I could, like, if I made a really successful film and I could have one of those, like, really weird requests, like make sure Freddy or excuse me, make sure Friday the 13th goes back to wherever. If I could have one of those requests, I would say make that Godzilla film, whether you have to adapt it into the MonsterVerse or not.
Jesus.
Just do it. Because the Griffin, without a shadow of a doubt, was one of the greatest kaiju that America has ever developed.
That's like, I would want to see that movie, and I would also want to see a Sam Raimi SpiderMan 4. Insane. Jesus. But you know what, Chris? Somewhere in the multiverse, those movies exist.
Yeah, somewhere. So
if you have the technology, you want to see what the movies look like in other universes, go see it now. Bring them back.
You know what hurts about that, though, like with the Griffin, is that I don't think it would mean so much to me if I didn't actually see what it was going to look like and, like, have an idea of what it was going to do. The fact that they have that freaking statue of it, I'm just like, oh.
That statue's like $500, right?
That statue is, like, not for sale. It's so it would be so expensive because I think it's in Stan Winston's estate.
You know what? Speaking of, thank you for reminding me. I was thinking about you earlier. Today's comic book day, right? So today they released the thick previews book for October, and I'm talking everything's in there, right? You know what? Talk for 2 minutes. Let me grab my phone. I'm gonna send it to you. There's a whole bunch of new Godzilla stuff coming out.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just give me a sec. Say something on here. Talk whatever.
Oh boy, you know I can talk about Godzilla all day. Sure, you guys in the comments section are gonna love that. But yeah, I mean, if like I was saying, if I could just have one, like, cinema wish, it would be that either they adapt that Godzilla story with the Griffin into the MonsterVerse, or they just make that movie. Because I'm telling you guys, if you are a Godzilla fan and you have not read that script, in fact, they're adapting that script into a graphic novel that's being I can't remember the name of the website, but you can find it online. They release, like, a certain number of pages of it every, like, Thursday was the last time that I looked at it. They might be done with it by now. But it's that script adapted into a graphic novel. Yeah, it's so good. I mean, there are some weird instances where they're like Godzilla was made by aliens and stuff, but it's so well written that you kind of put that aside and you're just like, oh, this is like a friggin' fantastic Godzilla movie, or it would have been a fantastic Godzilla movie that would have spawned into sequels, because they left it open where it was like there might be other things out there that come for us. It was like Gigan and Ghidorah. Like,
what's up, Scott?
Nada.
So I don't know if you got it.
Oh, let me check.
I don't know if you got it because
I don't have a message from you.
All right, we're gonna have to wait until we go off air because it's not going through probably. But All right. I'll show it to you eventually. But anyway, what's up, Scott? How are you?
Doing good.
Because you know what I would love, Chris? I would love for them to have like a figure, like a big figure, like the figures we have, but of the Wolfman, like that fought Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh, it's out there. It's out there. I saw it once on eBay.
How much?
And I bid for it, and I got outbid.
How much is it?
It's like $40.
Is it really?
Damn.
It wasn't that bad.
Is it still there?
But no, I got outbid for it, and it was the only time I ever saw it, and I was so disappointed.
That's called Wolfman Godzilla?
Yeah, you could probably find it online. I know that there's a guy on there that has a custom-made one for like $280. I was like, yeah, no thank you. It's a little too much, but it is nice, though. I'll send it to you.
Oh, wait, I see it. Not legendary Wolfman, right?
No. It's got that white fur, you know, because for some reason he was going to have white fur in the movie.
This thing is white, but it says legendary. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Legendary Wolfman custom figure for Godzilla versus the legendary Wolfman film.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It says at eBay, $289.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the custom one. That's not.
That's not it. Okay.
That's not it.
All right.
I gotta find it for you because it's.
I don't even think anybody has it.
No, I like I said, I only saw it once on eBay, and I got outbid for it.
I haven't bought stuff on eBay in a long time. Maybe I should start.
I never have.
No?
Here's something I had. Or at least Rich had.
What the hell is that?
That's the Bionic Bigfoot. And trust me, that toy, it didn't go over well.
Right.
Basically, the way it was set up is that plate there, when you hit it down on this little button here, it pops that plate out and you can see the circuitry behind it. But as you see, the articulation's not that.
Oh, you know what we were talking about, Scott? We were talking about how friggin' Black Hole, when we were a kid, they got, in October, a whole bunch of Black Hole figures coming out.
Oh, sweet.
Must be the anniversary, because the anniversary came out in '79.
Yeah.
So it's the anniversary. Wow. Maybe it's an Amazon, Chris? The figure?
I just sent you an image of it.
All right.
Yeah, it came out December 21st of '79.
Wow.
It's funny too because I was thinking about this a little while ago. I was like, so Toho did their own Frankenstein. They were gonna do their own Wolfman. When was the Mummy and Dracula gonna be made?
You think they want to do that? Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Makes sense.
Could you imagine Godzilla fighting like a giant kaiju mummy, like
Vampire?
Vampire?
That'd be sick.
The vampire one could actually be really cool if they did it like, you know. Well, I mean, it was the Showa series, so it would have been cheesy anyway. But
right.
He would have had to explain why his atomic breath didn't set the mummy on fire immediately. It would have been like, it's not really bandages. It's flaps of skin that look like bandages or something.
I'm trying to. I don't know why you can't get that thing I'm sending you. That sucks. We're going to have to do it after. Okay. Was there anything else with Godzilla we have?
At the moment, no. Just, I guess everybody get ready for Shin Ultraman.
That's insane. Shin Ultraman.
I wonder if he's going to walk around in this movie like a mindless zombie.
Yeah. That's insane. All right. We're going to get out of here. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye for now.